talking with Sherri. Sherri, first of all, congratulations on making it as far as you did. Final 3, pretty impressive.
Thank you.
Did you ever think you could make it that far?
I knew I was going to make it to the final 3. I mean, there were days, of course, when I was looking around going, how in the hell am I going to do this? But absolutely, in my gut, I had a goal, sit in the final 3, because if you're sitting in the final 3, you have a shot to win.
Who did you envision yourself at the final 3 with early on in the game?
Cochran from day 1.
Dawn and Cochran.
Absolutely. Once we merged, I had a pact with Dawn. It's not seen. We say the two of us are going to final 3, and she was with Cochran. So right then, and then once I met Cochran a little more, took more after Philip left. That's when Cochran and I started talking, and then we made a pact, final 3.
Before the merge, who would your final 3 have been? Would it have been Shamar?
I would have liked to go with Shamar, and I mean, hindsight, of course, I was Shamar and Laura. People I were thinking of.
So when you made it to the final 3, did you think the jury was going to be as nasty towards you?
Yes.
Why?
Because they were bitter and they were nasty from the beginning. Those guys were total douches to me throughout the entire game. They were asses. They've apologized since. They took it personal when I broke up the Cool Kids Alliance, and they were pissed at me. They were pissed because I kept Shamar around. And so from that point, it was like a line drawn in the sand, and there was no coming back. And they were, it got ugly.
Well, we even saw you tell somebody, sit down. Explain the heat of that moment.
I'm just done because, I mean, I busted my ass. I'm the last fan standing, and you're disrespecting me by telling me I'm a goat. You know, I had an attitude. I'm sorry, but fuck you. And that's what I wanted to say, but I knew I couldn't say that on TV. So I had the attitude of, screw you. Sit down. I don't have your vote, so don't sit here and talk to me. I don't need to hear your bullshit. Bye-bye. I'm done with you, and I don't have to play this game with you anymore.
When you look back, what is the first thing you're going to think of about this experience? Is there one thing in your mind that sticks out that you'll never forget?
Waking up on the beach and looking at the sunset. I will never forget that. Just going, I am on Survivor, and I am playing this, and I am a super fan, and that was just unreal.
Now, being a super fan, what is that experience like when you step foot on the beach and Jeff Probst walks out? We kind of saw Cochran the first time he played have an overwhelming moment. How was that?
It's indescribable, because no kidding, when you hear him go, Survivor's ready, or welcome to Survivor, you're like, you can't believe it. I actually made this dream come true, and it's a dream, and there's not many of us that can say we played this game. So it was a wonderful feeling, and I'm very gracious and humble, and I can't believe I was picked.
Now, had the final 3 come down to Eddie in your place against Dawn and Cochran, who would you have voted for to win the game?
But it came and got down with who?
Eddie in your place against Dawn and Cochran. Who would you have voted for?
I would have voted for Cochran.
So are you happy he won this game?
I have no regrets. I got to a point where I knew I couldn't win the game. I mean, I ran scenarios for weeks as the jury was stacking up of how can I get these people to respect my game, because half of them hadn't seen pre-game and what I was doing and how strategic with the Shamar. And I mean, I was in control of the first half of my game of the tribe until we merged. They didn't see that. So I mean, I got to a point where I was just like, I can't win, so who do I want to win? So I'm going to position with myself by 2 people. I want Dawn or Cochran to win. And I got to win. And honestly, I would have been happy if either one would have won, but I was probably pushing more for Cochran because he kept it together more.
Was there one particular moment throughout the entire game for you that was the most significant in your mind? What was the game-changing point for you?
I have a moment when actually Cochran is going home, and I go to him, and Brenda and Dawn and Eric were planning a final 3. And I go, and literally he is sleeping on the beach. I walk by, kick him in the head, and go, we need to talk. He gets walks in, and he had no idea that she was even thinking about doing anything. He thought she was 100% locked between the 3 of us. And I said, no, she's really thinking about switching over. And we had to go to work on Dawn. And we went to work on Dawn. They show Cochran going to work on Dawn, but they don't show me talking to Dawn going, there's no way in hell you're going to beat Brenda.
Did you find Dawn's emotions exhausting?
Yes. I mean, I love Dawn, but there was times where you're already so low and tired, and you have your own things going and dealing with, and then to have to constantly be reassuring and bringing her up and trying to convince her that she's okay. It was exhausting. It was hard.
Now, when the vote came down at the Final Four, you cast your vote against Eddie. Was there any consideration making that a tie vote?
Final Four, when?
When Eddie was voted out of the game, you cast your vote against Eddie. Was there any thought of going and aligning with Eddie at that point?
No, Eddie was not. He didn't trust me. So there was no. I mean, he talks like he would have come back with me, but actually, when we were in the game, there was no talk. He didn't trust me, and I knew that if I would have even went with him, I still would have been on the bottom. And yeah, there was no way I was going to work with Eddie.
Now, in your personal life, your superfan status actually took one of your kids' names. Is that correct?
Absolutely.
Tell us about that.
So I named my baby boy Colby after Colby Donaldson, season 2, Australia. And Colby just turned 12 2 weeks ago.
Have you ever met Colby?
I've never met Colby Donaldson. And he's never sent me like a tweet, nothing. Just but you know.
What a shame. All right. And last question for you. What are you doing today? And how did your business employees react to you being on the show? What was that like going to work and having everybody, oh God, the Thursday water cooler? What was that like?
I mean, of course, everybody wants to know, who are you really with? What's really going on? What's happening? Are you why didn't they show you that much? Or what's going, and how could you, all the girls were like, how could you not go with the 3 amigos, Sherri? Oh my God, they're so hot. I'm like, okay, 3 amigos and Sherri. Yeah, that doesn't work. That wasn't an option, guys, So, I mean, going to work was fun, playing with them and talking the game. But, we talk for a second and get back to work.
All right, Sherri, thank you so much. It was nice to meet you.